Hi there, everybody. I just thought I'd jump on because I get asked quite a few questions about how I prepare a body of work and what's involved with doing and making a cohesive body of work for my solo collections. I do mentor a number of artists, and it is a topic that I do talk to them about quite a bit. And I did a whole lot of these chats during COVID. And it was really nice. The community started chatting and sharing, and I haven't done it for a while. So I just thought I might touch on a few topics that I think will hopefully people might find helpful. Artists out there who may be just starting, who maybe haven't never had a solo show before. Personally, I bloody love preparing for a solo show. I love telling a story through my work. I love being able to start with an idea. It might happen when I'm out plein air painting in the field. It might be something that I've just thought about over a couple of years. It is about place and time and me recording wherever I've been. So I do a lot of travel and I do a lot of plein air painting, and that really informs what happens with my solo collections. That's another story. That's about inspiration, and I might do a talk about that. So if you want me to do anything, message me. This chat is really about telling that complete story from start to finish and how one work might inform the next. And then at the end of the day, you've got a solo collection. So I'm just going to share a little bit about that with you. So it's often daunting and people may not love a deadline. Personally, I love a deadline. I actually really thrive on working towards something, and I'm quite disciplined in my practice, and it really gives me that focus of what I need to have done and when. That's not to say that I don't just like detour, because I do all the time. So I am not working on this solo every day. At the moment, you're seeing all of this pink I'm matching, which I didn't intend on doing, but I often match my paintings. That there is a story unfolding, and this has been brewing for about 2 years based on a trip that I did up to the Adelaide Hills, which is right in my backyard pretty much. And I've been up there a few times and done some retreats where I'm just painting small works, recording. I then start building smaller works. They then inform my larger works. My shows are booked often 18 months in advance. So I know what I have to have done and when I have to have it done. It's good for my planning. However, I can do a commission if I feel like taking on a commission. It's a change of scenery. I'm about to take on a residency and go away for a while to another place. Now that's going to break my whole flow of this show, but that's okay. I actually need that. I quite like the break between the themes. Sometimes that's a bit confusing and it might throw you, but if you get a bit sick of what you're doing, or your head's all too consumed with it and you're overthinking it, which we do, we overthink everything we do, we doubt everything we do, then sometimes going to have a break and painting out somewhere else or choosing a different subject matter is a really healthy thing to do. How do we get that consistency between our body of work? Often it is place, time, and the color palette for me. It revolves around wherever I am, but the color palette is definitely informed by wherever I am. So my last solo show, I was in the desert. I was out in the bush, in the central desert of Australia. So I had those amazing cliff faces and the sandy gorges, and my colors and light was very much informed by that. This show, it's a different place. It's all about my backyard up in the Adelaide Hills, and it's really about time and capturing different time and light. So there's a consistency with my palette. So at the end of the day, you want the viewer to be able to walk into the gallery and really see the story evolve. And I'm not saying all the works need to be the same, because I don't think they should be, but they need to have some sort of a thread that ties them all together. And I'm often advising some of my artists that I mentor to keep an eye on what that thread might be. And it might be a color palette. Obviously, my technique doesn't change really. I've been working for such a long time. My technique's developed, and I've actually revisited old techniques. In this show, I am glazing. like I'm glazing the shit out of these paintings. I used to glaze a lot 20 years ago when I was doing all my nighttime New York streetscapes. I haven't glazed for years because my paint's been so thick. This time I am really loving going back to glazing. So that's a bit different for me. I want to keep changing it up for me to keep me interested. I need to keep challenging myself and learning and pushing. But there is, at the end of the day, I want them to say, well, that's Sarah Mac. That's Sarah McDonald painted that. I want them to recognize it for my knife work, my composition, my color, and the way I paint light. They're sort of my 4 main things that I keep consistent when producing my work. So look, that's just touching the surface, but it's a really interesting chat. I think you should all, if you're really starting out, maybe try and set yourself a goal. And it might be in 2 years' time, I'm going to produce a body of work, and start writing. I just write so much in my journal, writing all the time, sketching, and what are my ideas? Where do I want to head? And it might come at random times of the day. I've always got a notebook by my bed or in my handbag. So journal it, record it, and do it. Write it on your whiteboard, have some goals. It's just, I'm very goal driven, and I that's sort of how I work. May not suit you. We're all different, but I just thought I'd share that with you. And if you have any questions, or if you want me to talk about any topics, I talk about this a lot at my art school, and I thought I'd just start sharing again. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye.